Alright, so go ahead and go to the back of Shooting with the Sun so we can take some notes on these new pieces of equipment. So this is production notes, right, for when we're outside shooting. When we were shooting the note, yes sir?
Real fast. Oh, that's good.
0084 AA. Alright, okay. So when we were doing the chase, there was other equipment on your shelves that I wasn't giving you guys. I wasn't trying to overload you guys with too much stuff, and we're just trying to keep it simple for the chase. But now that we've hopefully gotten some experience with cameras and tripods and we're locked in on those things, we can introduce two new pieces of equipment. So we're going to go over bounce and boom mics. So let's actually do the boom mics first. Sorry about that. So our boom mics right here on the back have two switches, and the two switches have really small little icons on them, and the icons look like this. So a circle, a line, and then one that looks like that, and the switch underneath it, and then there's -10, 0, and +20, and a switch underneath those that we can slide around. So right now, my switch is on the O and -10. So the O is for off on this, and when it's in the off position, there's no light on the back. If I slide the switch over one into the middle, right there, you see the little green light comes on the back of the microphone, and it's powered on. Or you can slide it all the way to the right edge, which is basically on with a filter. The light stays on and stays green when it's in that position. Okay. What this little symbol means here, and you'll see this a lot on microphones and audio equipment, is that it's recording low frequencies and middle frequencies, but once you get up to those high frequencies, it's going to cut them off. It doesn't want to, you're telling the microphone, don't record anything. It's probably like a 10,000 hertz filter. 10,000 hertz is like really, really high hisses and really, really high frequencies. Human voice is typically in like the 1,000 to 3,000, 4,000 hertz range, so it's not going to affect your actors' voices at all. It's just going to get rid of hisses and hums and things that you don't want. So personally, whenever I use the boom mic, I put the switch all the way over to on with the filter. On the bottom, the second switch, no matter what I put it on, it doesn't change the color of the light as long as the microphone is on. And this is basically a volume setting, right? It's a gain setting, -10, 0, and +20. For our purposes, we pretty much always want to be over in +20. Okay, +20 is whenever you're recording dialogue. We always want to record our dialogue as loud as possible, because then in the computer, if it's too loud, we can turn it down. But if we record our dialogue too quietly, we can't turn it up. Right? It's going to sound really, really bad if we try to boost the volume of our dialogue. So always record louder than you think and then turn it down. Same thing, always shoot longer than you think because you can clip it down. You can't make a clip longer and you can't really make a sound that much louder. The 0 setting I say use for noisy situations. Like if you're shooting interviews in the gym and you're using this kind of microphone, the gym has hard ceiling, hard floors, hard walls. The sound bounces around in there like crazy. If you're trying to shoot an interview with this kind of microphone in the gym, you're going to be hearing every ball bounce, every bit of noise from all around. It's going to sound really bad if you're on +20. 0 is just going to hopefully limit as many echoes as possible. -10, I would say, would be for like band concerts or the marching band. Really, really loud situations where if it was at 0 or +20, it might be overloading the microphone. The recording would just kind of turn into static. You know, you've heard that before when you play things too loud, it kind of goes bad sometimes. So it's very rare that you have to use -10. Jets flying overhead or something like that if you're recording an air show, maybe, I don't know. So these are the settings that I like. On with a filter and +20 if you ever shoot dialogue. Okay? So we flip over to +20 and we flip it to on with a filter. Now, whenever we shoot with a microphone, the number one thing to remember is to always check your audio. Okay? So what I mean by that is, you're out of your location, your director is setting up the actors and the camera operator. If I'm the microphone, the boom mic operator, what I need to do is connect my extension cable to the camera. So on our cameras, usually we're holding them in our right hand, right? And the memory card is under our hand. But on the other side, you see there's these two flaps here for extra connections. One of the little rubber flaps says mic for MIC for microphone, and it's the only place that this cable will fit. So you just kind of look for the circular one. There is another circular one, but it's too small. It won't fit in. So don't jam her in there. Just go in there correctly. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, we're doing Spirit now.
Who's got that teal and black on? Stand up. So any sophomores with teal and black?
I know, look at that.
Juniors with teal and black?
Is that
Juniors, Taylor.
I'm not a junior.
And Victor. All right, so 2 juniors, and then seniors with teal and black on. 2 seniors with teal and black on. There you go.
and who do you want to use points to?
Shame.
Split them.
Shame.
Half for
Okay,
juniors,
you
half
only
for.
get one.
I get 1. I don't get 5 anymore.
Seniors.
Alright.
Seniors. Please, seniors.
Freshmen.
Ah,
What?
I don't even teach freshmen.
sorry.
Feeling generous. Okay, so.
Sorry, I need to take it.
Oh my bad.
He said freshman. He said you.
It was 2 and 2, not 1 and 1. Hey, it's 2 and 2, not 1 and 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, come on now. All right. So we plug it in. We plug it into the camera. Before you record anything, right? Do a quick check. So push record on your camera. Get in real close to the mic. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. And then play it back. And make sure it's actually recording. There we go. You don't want to be super loud because if I go, check 1 2, and this isn't plugged in, it's still going to get recorded by the camera, right? So that's why I get really quiet, because if it's not plugged in the camera, it's not going to pick up by the camera. So I know that it's going into this, okay? If you plug this in to the camera down here, but don't have this turned on, right? Record. Check, 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 check. Play it back. Nothing. That's bad times. You have it plugged in on this end, but not plugged in on this end.
Same thing.
Same thing, right? I record. Check, check, check. Play it back. Nothing. Okay? So once you plug into this jack here, the camera turns off its internal microphone and is looking for something else. The other day, DBTV went to go shoot cross country. None of their interviews had sound. I don't know if they forgot to turn the mic on. I don't know if they had a bad cable, but they didn't check it. Right? If you check it, you can come up with an alternative plan. Worst case scenario, you just use the microphone built into the camera. Maybe you use your phone. You find a separate microphone, right? Check your microphones. 2 years ago, we were doing documentaries, and they had gotten an appointment with the principal, and it took them like a week to get this appointment because the principal's super busy, and they go to his office, they set this whole thing, they shoot this half-hour-long interview, they get back in here, what do they have? Nothing. No audio. Can't get the principal again, he's busy, he's booked. That interview's shot. Okay? Don't let that happen to you. Check your audio. Okay? I say check it anytime you move to a new location. So we get to the library, we got 5 shots in the library. I'll check it before shot 1. Just leave the mic on the whole time you're shooting, right? Shoot, set up, okay? As long as nothing changes, you're good. But probably when you're getting ready to move from the library to the house office, right, you're going to disconnect. You're going to power off as you're walking. So once you get to the new location, plug it back in, and do another check. And you can delete the check right after you're done checking it, right? Just go ahead and delete it on the camera. You don't need to save that file. It's just so you can know. Because unfortunately, these cameras don't have what's called an audio meter. You can't see the levels kind of bouncing, right? You don't know. The only way to do is to check it manually yourself. Okay, so we've done a check. We've got our microphones set. We got our actors ready to go. We're in here. We did a check. Everything's working great. So what we can do is there's two sections here. You give a half twist to the left, extend, and then a half twist to the right. Top level, half twist to the left, extend, half twist to the right, and now it's locked in. All right? Now, when you're the boom mic operator and you're holding this, you got a couple things to be aware of. One, make sure the microphone does not get in the shot. Stay out of the shot. If the shot's on a tripod, it's pretty easy. You can talk to your camera operator and kind of test the limits. Okay, where am I in? That's in, right there, that's in the shot. Let me know when I'm out. Okay, I'm out right here. I'm going to back up 1 extra foot for safety and call it good. Right? Don't try to be like, oh, that's in the shot and that's out of the shot. I'm going to stay right here because then your arm gets a little tired. And now it's in the shot again, right? So I like to come out an extra foot just to play it safe.
The dead cat.
Right? Yeah. This here is called a dead cat or a windscreen. And that's going to suck up a lot of that wind noise that we were fighting in the chase. Second thing you got to be careful of, be aware of your shadows.
Alright.
Right? If you're shooting outside and the sun is at my back and these guys are my subject, that boom mic shadow is going to be right on their face. And it's going to look really bad. Okay, so you're going to have to get it up higher maybe. Alright, or swing to the other side. The cable's pretty long. If it wasn't so tangled up right now. I think I got 15-foot cables, so you should be able to move around pretty well. Alright? Imagine this is a directional recorder. If I take the dead cat off it, you'll see that basically this is a hollow tube, and the recording element is all the way back here. So this is basically blocking, it's only letting sound that's coming in this direction. So from the side, I mean, it'll get it, but it's probably bouncing off the walls to get in there. So it's very directional in the way that it records. It's not like a performance microphone or an interview microphone, which has a more spherical pickup pattern. This pickup pattern is very straight ahead. So you got to imagine that it's like a laser pointing at your actors' mouths. I see a lot of people go straight down with it, right? That's the desk, right? I want to make sure that I point it at his mouth, so you got to put a little bit of twist in it. The other thing is be careful with the cable. You don't want to pull it so tight, right? We talked about that was the reason that those top 5 interviews sounded so bad, because the microphone cable had so much strain on it, it was shorting out. And I've had to send these microphones out for repair once already. Luckily they have 10-year warranties. I'm working on a way to maybe give the cable a little bit of strain relief so it doesn't pull so hard. But the thing that kills me is when I see people pulling it so strong, right? I just give it a little bit of loop and I hold it in the foam area because I don't want the cable clinking on the metal part, because that's going to get, the vibrations are going to get picked up by the microphone. Okay, so I hold it in the foam part, get it up high out of the shot, and point it towards your actors. The best use for this is, the biggest difference is going to be your over-the-shoulder shots, right? If my camera's pointing this way, and my actor's doing an over-shoulder shot this way, and they got dialogue, my voice used to be going away from the camera microphone, which sucks. But now, I can get in here as my boom mic operator, right? I'm kind of stuck here because of the wall. But I can point to this guy when he's talking, and then I can point to that person when they're talking, and I can go back and forth between them as they speak and get much clearer audio for both of them. Okay? Just again, beware your shadows if you're outside in the sun. Make sure your boom mic stays out of the shot. Same thing with the cable. Sometimes people put too much strain relief in it, though, all the way like this, right? That's too much. Okay? It just needs to be like, just like that, right there. All right? And then as you're walking, I recommend disconnecting from the camera from location to location, just to remove a tripping hazard, right? If it's all connected, then you got this big long trip wire, and that's just asking for trouble. When you come back to the room, you want to twist to the left, drop it in, twist to the right, twist to the left, drop it in, twist to the right, and turn the microphone off when you come back in the room. Now if you're short on bodies, like let's say someone's absent, or our class is one of the smaller classes, your group only has 4 people and you need everyone in the shot, what you can do is you can go from being a boom mic to being a shotgun mic. So if I hold the top of the boom pole and then, actually don't hold the top, hold the microphone and then twist the boom pole to the left, I can remove the microphone from the boom. This is a 3/8 inch screw, so it's too big to flip the bottom of the camera. Cameras and video stuff uses 1/4 inch, audio uses 3/8 inch. I don't know why, just to be difficult, I guess. The bottom of this has a square, and the top of your camera has a square. So we can slip that right in there. This circular part here, just give it a little twist just to squeeze it against it so it doesn't fall out now. I mean, the microphone only weighs like 6 ounces. It doesn't need to be that tight. It's not going to go anywhere. And then I can power that on, plug this in, and I'm going shotgun style. Obviously now I can't point at that over the shoulder, but the pickup from this is going to be much better than the pickup from this tiny little thing on the camera. And you're going to eliminate wind and all that other kind of stuff because of the filter and because of the dead cat on it. So if you're short on bodies, this is better than nothing. Obviously the boom pole is better quality because you can aim it, but this is still better than nothing. Okay? Just please don't over tighten this circle lock nut thing. Like, it seems like every month I have to get out my pliers to loosen it. Someone cranks it down so hard I have to get pliers because it's just so tight on there. So it doesn't take much to spin that thing on there. All right? So we got our boom mics. The second piece is the bounce. Put that down here. We watched the video about it, and you use it to bounce light back onto whatever it is you're doing. All right? So you got the sun out there, and you got your actor here, and the sun is hitting half of their face, and the other half of their face is in the shade, right, like that. So if I'm here, the sun's over here, and it's hitting me like this half of my face is going to be real dark. It's going to lose a lot of detail. That's single point lighting. The light's coming from one point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my bounce over here. I'm going to bounce that sunlight boing, back onto their face and fill in the shadows. The sun is my key, and the bounce is my fill. I'm going to bounce that light back onto my actor so it's not super duper shadowy. It's still going to be a little bit shadowy, but it's not going to be nearly as bad. It's going to look a whole lot better. Now, our bounces have like 5 different sides to them. They're pretty nice. The first side, the gold side, is the brightest side. It's too bright for most situations. You're going to want to use this indoors, and you're going to want to use it like as a back or a hair light. Like you saw the one where they kind of lit up back here on the guy, not on his face. And they talk about when you backlight things, it gives that romantic look, right? It gives that glamorous look like it did in Indiana Jones with Marion coming out from the wardrobe changer, right? So if you've got a situation where you can bounce some gold light onto the back of an actor, it'll pop them out from the background and make them look really good. But this is awfully bright to use outdoors, as you guys will see. If we undo the zipper on this, it's reversible. So I can switch to my silver side, which is the second brightest one. Right? And then you gotta zip it all back up. But I'm not gonna do that because we'll be switching back and forth. You zip it back up, and now you got your silver side. Second brightest. You can use this on cloudy days outside, or you can use it indoors. And you can use this one as a fill.